Well, howdy guys, great to see you here on the main track. Well, I tell you, we've got some really cool stuff today I'm pretty excited to show you. Now, we've taken you along to some great model railroad events in recent months, and as train show season winds down, we made a final trip to one of the biggest shows in our region.
This is the Oklahoma City Train Show, and my parents were taking me to this when I was still in diapers. And I've come every single year since then. Wouldn't miss this show for the world.
Oklahoma City was where all the fun was during the first week of November 2024 for the annual OKC Train Show.
I've met so many good people doing shows like this and just in our club. I enjoy the camaraderie as much, if not more, than the trains a lot of the time. We have a lot of fun together.
Well, aside from buying some new train stuff, we had a lot of fun looking at a lot of fantastic layouts, meeting up with some friends, and also it was great seeing a lot of you for the first time, like Willie Melendez, the rail fan, and Rick from the San Juan and Sierra Railroad.
I think that model railroading is the world's greatest hobby. It's survived, for so long, and I see so many young people coming into it today.
Now, taking a look here, you can see there were so many layouts of the event. I think the show organizer said somewhere around 20. I wish I could have gotten around to seeing all of those. I didn't have time, unfortunately. So with this episode, I'll be focusing on a few of the HO ones I was able to take in. As I've highlighted in some previous episodes here on the main track, modelers in this group bring their individual modules to setups like this and configure the sections like dominoes.
Yeah, if you're a space-starved model railroader who's really looking for a way to run on a big layout, but you don't have the way to do it at home, Fremo. I can't recommend it enough. You just build one little segment of track, and then you're able to run at least a few weekends a year. You get to run on a huge layout with your train. Like, that's the big thing for me with Fremo. At a home layout, usually there's a lot of tight turns to navigate your way around the space that's available. Fremo, it's all broad, sweeping curves, long straightaways. It feels a lot more like the real thing, and I think it's really about the closest to the real thing that you can get on a normal person's budget.
Well, these displays included a lot of your typical Midwestern scenes with small towns and grain elevators and plenty of rural scenery. Well, I also thought this operating drawbridge was a pretty neat touch. Well, our friend Jack has been hard at work on his module depicting a river crossing with this set of highly detailed bridge spans.
I know a lot of guys, at least for me, I tend to model what I see. I'm interested in the things that I can go out there in the real world and say, hey, I like this scene, I think this looks cool, I can come home, try to figure out a way to translate that into a model format. But it really is evocative of any location that you might run across anywhere out on any line.
Well, as I'm sure we've all learned, our hobby is a lot of fun, but sometimes it entails a little bit of trial and error to get things right.
Actually, I do want to go in on this a little bit. If you're ever going to design yourself a Fremo module and you're thinking about putting a bridge over top of a joint between modules, don't do it. Just don't do it. It may be slightly tempting, but it's going to get you into a lot of problems because you have to worry about lining the bridge up properly every time when you take it down and put it back together. But yeah, everybody's got their own way of modeling things. I like to keep it plausible, but not exactly how things are, kind of take my own liberties with it.
At Durango.
Well, next we caught up with our fellow modeler Rick, who is here with his San Juan and Sierra Scenic Tourist Railroad, and his project was born after an unforgettable vacation.
My wife and I took a ride to Durango, Colorado, and we rode the Durango and Silverton, the majestic mountain peaks of Colorado. It was absolutely life-changing. I had already had it in my heart and in my head that I was going to build a model railroad that I could transport and share with other people. And this is the end result.
You can see it's a lot of tall mountain scenery and rugged railroad all packed into a pretty small space.
So it's 38 inches wide, 6 foot 4 inches in length. And my wife and I carried it in here. It's really light. It's made from a blue expanded polystyrene foam. You don't have to spend a ton of money to be involved and have fun. This is built with a lot of salvage materials. All of the lumber underneath it came from construction dumpsters. I don't recommend that, but it's certainly a way to do it.
Rick employs some visual techniques to give the illusion the layout is much bigger.
This is a 360-degree layout that's meant to be seen from all angles. The sight block down the middle makes the small size work better. Otherwise, you're watching a train go in circles. This appears to come from somewhere and go somewhere.
Well, there's also some benefits to having a smaller layout if you're going to be transporting them to events like this.
It takes almost no time to set up. Having it smaller like this makes it so that we can disassemble. The top comes right off, the tunnels come right off. The mistakes that I made turned out to be great lessons. I think that's a very valuable concept. You know, don't be afraid to just dive in, do what you know, you'll figure out the rest. And then the lessons that come to you through doing something like this.
Well, heading up the aisle, we found another fantastic layout. This one is from the Dakota Southeastern Division of the National Model Railroad Association.
We call the transition era in model railroading, the 50s into the 60s, where steam was still around, but diesel was too. So the modules that I've put scenery on, I kind of go to that era. So you'll see a little older vehicles, street lights and stuff to set the time frame.
Sure, okay.
And then some guys are modeling, like some of this is more modern, you know, some of the guys like more modern stuff.
This layout takes on more of a freelance theme, and each module showcasing the skills and modeling styles of each member.
Each module, the track and like the general work was done by the club kind of, and then members take modules home and do their own, and lots of little, I guess, Easter eggs is what they call them today, hidden things to look for. That's real nice.
The members have used a lot of eye-catching details to grab and keep your attention.
Lights and animation. We have quite a bit of, things for people, as we say, things to look at once you've seen the trains go around.
Well, another one of the massive layouts that was impossible to miss is called Santa Fe All the Way. Well, just like a lot of the layouts here at the show, this one is a modular setup. What sets this one apart, though, is it's not owned and operated by one of the big train clubs, but it's pretty much the work of this one guy.
I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. I want my own specific look for the layout, and had to do that myself.
Andrew tells us his layout is based on the prototype Santa Fe Railway, and his scenes feature well-known landmarks on the railroad on its track across the western U.S. Or from the big yards in Chicago to the famed Sullivan's Curve in California's Cajon Pass.
A little bit of everything, a little Midwest, a little Western, so the layout's about half and half.
Okay.
So a little bit of everything. On the other end of the layout, I had the Topeka Depot, went to the real one, measured it, translated it all down to HO scale, so it's true to scale. Right behind you is the bar style shops. It was fun to research it and then build it again to scale. So that was a lot of fun with that.
Andrew chose an era to model that was long before his time.
Late 1959.
What was the reason behind choosing
I found it interesting, something different. Honestly, I like classic cars of that era, so that was another thing I get to add into it. Okay. So kind of different parts of my hobbies to add all into one.
Well, Well, some of the amazing scenes on this HO setup are based on another famous Santa Fe O-scale layout, which once existed at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago.
Do you have a place where you're able to set this up full time?
I can. Most of it stays in the trailer all the time, and I can pull sections out to work on them. I unfortunately can't set the whole thing in the house as much as I like to.
Another one of my favorites was the Gulf Western layout. You might recall we saw this one at the National Train Show in Plano, Texas last year. Now, this display here is the work of the Gulf Western Modular Railroad Society, and they're out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, this layout depicts modern-day railroading with a heavy-duty main line, lots of big industries, and plenty of long freight trains. Well, this two-day show was an awesome chance to be inspired by the talents and hard work of other modelers and gain some new insight and ideas to bring back to our own layouts.
The hobby, I think, it's a really good way to condense a lot of different skill sets together. There's an art side of it, there's a mechanical side of it, there's wiring.
I find it's a great creative outlet that allows you to hone your talents in many areas. We have to be an engineer, an electrician, a carpenter.
Weathering, painting, there's so many different facets of the hobby that can make it interesting to someone. Some people just like scenery. Some people like doing just buildings. My favorite thing is scenery and buildings. The trains are just, a part of it.
So many different things that you learn how to do. You condense it all into this one place. You're going to learn something new along the way, and that's kind of, for me, I think that's a really big part of it.
I'm looking forward to next year's OKC Train Show, and I'll look forward to seeing you right here next time on the main track. Thanks for joining us, guys.